I'm Andy Murphy, a minister at St Giles and in the Methodist Circuit. I conducted a funeral the other day for a man called David. David was a good man, and I knew him well. He was a father of two, a granddad, a loving husband, a retired teacher, a keen walker, and he collected sheep. Not actual living sheep, but sheep memorabilia, clothing, mugs, ties, bookmarks, and many other sheep things he acquired over the years. At his funeral, we had 3 sheep-themed Bible readings. We had the 23rd Psalm, which begins, "The Lord's my shepherd," of course written by another David. We had Jesus saying that he is the good shepherd from John chapter 10. And then there was David's own choice, the parable of the lost sheep in Luke 15. And these readings were deeply relevant, not just because of David's love of sheep, but because actually, throughout his life as a Christian, David tried in every way he could to follow the Good Shepherd. The Bible used to talk about the rulers of the world or the kings of Israel as being like shepherds. And it makes very clear when it comes to leaders that there are 2 kinds of shepherds, bad shepherds and good shepherds. The bad are those who are self-interested, motivated by greed, not truly caring for the people. And then there are the good, the ones who, like God, hold the people in their hearts and have a special care for the outcast, the strangers, the vulnerable, and the lost. My friend David was a leader in many ways, but certainly the good shepherd type. Whenever he went with a group walking, he led from the front, making sure that he would come across any danger or stumbling blocks before the others, making sure he could guide them safely through. And in his teaching life, even from a young age, he was identified as a teacher who could work with children with special needs, or those who didn't typically fit into the standard system of education. Children who, without the help of people like David, with a great deal of patience and understanding, might never fully reach their potential. In his church life, David also made sure that his church was regularly giving what it could to help those locally who were in need. Whether that was helping refugees with furniture, helping homeless people with money for travel, or giving money to a local school to help certain children afford a pair of shoes or a school trip. This is what good shepherding looks like. In our world today, we see many people who enjoy the power and privilege of leadership, but we might wonder which category they would fall into, good shepherds or bad. That's for God to judge. But Jesus does help us understand the sort of leadership and the sort of following he desires. He said, "Love one another as I have loved you." And then he went as far as suffering and dying on the cross so that the lost could be reconciled to God. The prophet Micah had some simple words to help us too. In chapter 6, Micah says, "He has shown you what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? But to act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." There's a well-known hymn where God, the Lord of sea and sky, explains the burden on his heart and asks whom he can send. The response is, "Here I am, Lord. I will hold your people in my heart." Every day brings new opportunities to choose to follow the way of Jesus, the Good Shepherd? Can we lead others through danger? Can we seek out the lost, help those who are struggling, or befriend a stranger? Can we give generously with what we have? Can we hold God's people in our hearts? Can we take inspiration from people like David, and I'm sure many people you know, to act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with our God? God bless you.